For Eleanor, the wide fields and vales of the Anduin valley seemed almost a paradise after the shadows of the dark forest. The sight of the open sky lifted everyone's spirits, and the bright sun appeared to banish the dark memories that had haunted the party since their narrow escape from the spider demon. Some of her escort lifted up their voices in one of the songs she had heard as a child in Dol Amroth. Listening to the soaring music, she could almost believe that the worst was behind them. Hello, I am Onidson, and this is Agents of the White Council, my narrative campaign for Lord of the Rings The Card Game by Fantasy Flight Games, in which I follow a group of heroes as they quest across the length and breadth of Middle-earth, striking back against the shadow in the east. Today we will be playing Journey Along the Anduin, the second quest of the core set. So without any further ado, let's go take a look at our opening hands. For deck 1, I really rather like this. We have Beaufort and the Sylvan Refugee for extra willpower, we have some card draw with Ancient Madam, and perhaps most importantly, we have Ride Them Down, which allows me to choose a non-unique enemy in the staging area and place progress that would be placed on the quest instead to convert it to damage on an enemy in the staging area. Of course, I have to clear any active locations first, but with the amount of willpower I have, that 1 should not be too much of a problem, and 2, I should be able to put a great deal of damage on the Hill Troll, which is exciting. Also, of note is this copy of Defender of the West, which is actually a proxy for a card that's not in Octagon yet, the Necklace of Girion. It's a spoiled card from the new Wilds of Rovanian set that actually hasn't been released, but since we have all the details on it as a spoiled card, I'm using it in this deck because I rather like it. So, the Necklace of Girion reads, attached to a hero. Well, it's guarded, so when you play it into the staging area, you have to discard until an enemy or a location is revealed and then attached to that. But once you clear the location or defeat the enemy it's attached to, it reads attached to a hero you control. That hero gets +2 willpower and gains an extra resource during the resource phase, which is an incredibly potent boost, especially for the low cost of clearing a location or killing an enemy, and spending 1 resource. So, there's that, and I also have a magic ring. The ring is for Eleanor, actually, since she's going to be our primary defender. It's nice to have a bit of repeatable healing, or repeatable readying if I happen to need to use her effect to cancel a treachery. So, that's good to note. So, for deck 2, I'm looking at this, and I'm a lot less okay with this opening hand. There's nothing in it that's going to start getting Rossiel boosted up with her defense. I mean, there's Elven Mail to give her extra hit points and Sentinel, and that's good. It'll allow her to survive a hit from the Hill Troll, but still kind of would rather have something like None Return or Out of the Wild, or even a Scout Ahead would be really nice to start getting things into the victory display so she can start defending for 4 against the enemies that aren't Hill Trolls, especially since in deck 1 I have something that'll help me take care of the Hill Troll. So I think we're going to take a mulligan on this one. And, well, that's slightly better. Yeah. We have Hanemarth, we have Out of the Wild. We still have Elven Mail, so that's a thing. And a little bit of card draw that if we're willing to play to risk things with our threat, we can take advantage of that. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started on the quest. To the river. Emerging from Mirkwood Forest with an urgent message for Lady Galadriel, you must now make your way south along the Anduin River in order to reach the Forest of Lorien. As you leave the forest behind, You notice that you are being pursued, and thus quicken your pace. Setup: each player reveals one card from the top of the encounter deck and adds it to the staging area. So let's see what we've got. Card 1 is Misty Mountain Goblins. That should be fine. And card 2 is the Brownlands. Of course it's the Brownlands. That's going to be interesting. We advance to stage 1B. As you approach the location of a small raft stashed on the riverbank, a fearsome hill troll emerges from behind a grouping of rocks and attacks. And now we search the encounter deck for a hill troll and add it to the staging area. One of these days, I would really like to reveal a hill troll during setup, so I don't actually have to go through the encounter deck to find one, saving me a card in setup. But apparently not today. So, looking at that, we are ready to draw our first card, Foe Hammer. It'd be much better if I actually had a weapon to go with it. And, well, let's start by playing out some willpower. Let's get a Sylvan Refugee and save a resource for Bofer. There is currently 8 threat in the staging area. So if we quest with Lanwin, the Sylvan Refugee, Thalen, and Bofer, we'll get 7 plus 2 for Raziel. So we can be questing for 9 right now. Against 8 threat in the staging area. Well, I suppose the good news is that means we could potentially keep Bofer in play for that 1 resource. I mean, I'm kind of okay with that, actually. As long as we don't raise our threat too high. Well, regardless, I'm not going to be playing Defender of the West, because I don't want to be adding more threat to that staging area, especially not if the location that flips off the top of the deck is East Bite, which will force me to keep the Brownlands in there for who knows how long. So let's, over here, you know what? I think we need more willpower, so let's get out Hennemarth River Song. Save a resource so that next turn we can play out of the wild, and we'll save up for Elven Mail. And no, I'm not going to be playing with my threat. So, questing. In the quest phase, let's just put Bofer into play right now, committed to the quest. And then, Lanwin, Thalen, the Sylvan Refugee, Raziel, and Hennemarth. So, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... 10 willpower against 8 threat in the staging area, with the ability to reduce it by 2. Here goes nothing. Flip 1, Treacherous Fog, boosts the threat of that Brownlands by 1, and flip 2, Driven by Shadow, is going to boost it by 1, 2, 3. So that'll be 3 threat on the Misty Mountain Goblins, 7 threat on the Brownlands, and 2 threat on the Hill Troll for a grand total of 12, and I'm going to let that go through, because Argalad is now going to reduce the Hill Troll's threat by 2 using his ability, and put a damage on the Hill Troll. All things considered, I'm fine with that. So let's go ahead and travel to the Brownlands, get it out of the staging area. We did not quest successfully, so Bofer stays in play. I love it when that happens. We didn't even have to raise our threat. And as nice as it would be to... well, I don't think we can kill the Misty Mountain Goblins this round, unfortunately, but that is going to be fine. Let's engage them. Oh, it doesn't matter if we opt to engage or just let the engagement fall out naturally, so we will deal them a shadow card, and defend with Eleanor. Flip the shadow card, which is, oh, it is nice to see a Marsh Hatter gone. And Legolas will attack doing 2 damage. Well, all things considered, as a first round, that was remarkably nice. Oh, wonderful, and we have a Gondorian shield now. And Cloak of Lorien. all things considered, I think we're in a very good position. So deck 2 is the first player. Let's start by getting Elven Male on Rossio. She now has 5 hit points and Sentinel, which is something I'm not going to complain about. And as much as I would like the Cloak of Lorien, I think I want to play out of the wild. So let's look at the top 5 cards of the encounter deck. And, you know, out of all of those things, I'd rather pull out Despair. Not because it's a particularly nasty treachery. In fact, it's practically a blank reveal, in my experience, but its shadow effect is consistently the nastiest one in this quest, and since I haven't found another means of canceling shadows, yet it's still buried in my deck somewhere, I would rather not take that risk, so we'll add both of those to the victory display, and shuffle the encounter deck. Alright, so at this point, let's go over to deck 1. There are no locations to play the Ancient Matham with. That's fine. Let's play a Gondorian Shield on Eleanor, who is now up to 4 defense. Let's... Here's the question. Do I want to get the magic ring out now, just so that I can start getting extra resources or healing or readying on Eleanor if need be, and then, by that token, play out Defender of the West to start to get that out early so it can start making a difference in the quest? Or do I want to go ahead and see if I can put some damage on the Hill Troll? Well, let's see, I'll be questing for 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and frankly with Argalad it'll probably be 12. If I was going to go for Write Them Down, I would probably go for 12, expecting an average of 4 threat revealed. It would be 5 in the staging area, and 12 willpower. That would put 7 damage on the Hill Troll. Yeah, leaving it 1 point away from death. I could use Argalad to ping it at any point. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. I think, yeah, it's probably better to get that out of the staging area sooner rather than risking letting threat build up and Write Them Down not being useful, because it's not like I have a whole lot more willpower in my hand to play. I think now is the clearest the staging area is going to get. So, we will leave things as they are, and we will quest. Well, no. Yes, we will leave things exactly as they are. And we will quest for 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 against 1 in the staging area, and we will flip the first card, Necromancer's Reach, of course. Let's cancel that with Eleanor, because it would kill Henemarth and the Refugee. So instead, we'll take Wargs and an Evil Storm. That's fine. The Wargs take a damage from Thalen, and of course I have no ready characters to act as defenders, but let's see what we can do. And we will play Write Them Down. So currently, we're questing for 12 against 3 threat in the staging area. That's 9 damage to be put on the Hill Troll. And that will add to the victory display. And now we're in trouble. Could be worse. Don't know how, but it could be worse. Let's option engage the wargs. And let's deal out shadow cards. Wish I had drawn a Hands Upon the Bow. Alright, we'll take the goblins undefended. That damage will go into Thalen. We will take the wargs undefended. 4 damage. But I have 5 hit points on Rossel. Hallelujah. And because there was a shadow effect on this Eastern Crows, I am glad my threat is below 35. The wargs do not return to the staging area, and Legolas will kill them and place 2 progress on the quest. And let's delete the shadow card and go to the next turn, see where we are. Whew. That was a little worrying. But we came out of it all right so far. So let's go ahead and, well, the first thing we'll do is we'll play the Necklace of Girion up into the staging area, discarding until a goblin sniper. Of course. We can handle that, though. And let's get the magic ring onto Eleanor so that we don't have a repeat of last round where we cancel a treachery and then have to take attacks undefended. And over here, let's get a Cloak of Lorien onto Rossel. He's now 3 defense with Sentinel and 1 hit point remaining. Let's not be questing with her for the next little bit. And you know what? There's no Hill Troll out anymore. Let's draw some cards. Ah. Good to note. And because we have the resource, let's play Protector of Lorien as well onto Rossel. Excuse me. So, with all of that said, let's start committing to the quest. 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 should be fine, I think. With Argalad to reduce threat, and then we'll save Henemarth to start scrying. So, flip 1, Necromancer's Pass. Flip 2, the Brownlands. So, 5, 8, 9, 10. There's currently 10 threat in the staging area, and we quested for 7. It was definitely 7. Argalad will reduce that by 2 and put a point of damage, but each of us is raising our threat by 1. Well, that's fun. Not much we can do about it, and so we will travel to the Brownlands, explore it, optionally engage the Goblin Sniper, and deck 1 will play Well Warned to reduce deck 2's threat by the threat of the enemy we just engaged. And now we'll deal shadow cards. Block with Eleanor. Of course. And we have to take that attack undefended. Oh, and when the Misty Mountain Goblins attack, they remove a progress from the quest. Could have been worse. Well, I suppose we didn't have to take it undefended. We could have readied Eleanor with the magic ring. But we didn't do that, so Rossel will block the Goblin Sniper. Very good. And Legolas will put the Misty Mountain Goblins out of our way, and Henemarth, instead of scrying, will put the last point of damage on the Goblin Sniper, allowing me to attach Defender of the West to Lanwin. Now, at the end of the combat phase, the Wolf Rider returns to the top of the deck, and to those of you who might be wondering, I did not attack the Wolf Rider with Legolas. It would have been a smart move, if I could. The Wolf Rider is still in kind of a nebulous state here. It's still technically a shadow card. Well, no, it's an enemy now, but it's not technically engaged with a player. And so I can't declare attacks unless I have something that allows me to declare attacks against an enemy that's not engaged with a player, which is something I don't have. Perhaps if I had Hero Haldir. Either way, with that said, we know what the top card of the encounter deck is now. Of course, that means that Lanwin will be able to ready when we quest with her, or get +2 willpower if we really think we'll need it. Eleanor is just going to use that magic ring, raise our threat by 1 to heal 1 of those points of damage. And now we will ready and go to the next turn. Good, we drew a hasty stroke. Rossiel will play the Wandering Ent. Legolas will play another copy of Elven Mail under Rossiel. It doesn't say limit 1 per character, so both of her restricted slots are now used up, but on the other hand, she is now no longer 1 hit point away from death. So there's that. And over here, as much as I would like to save a resource for a hasty stroke... Oh, did I add the extra resource to Lanwin for this turn? Or did we... No, I did not. Lanwin gets an extra resource from the Necklace of Girion. So we're going to spend all 3 of those resources on a Ravanian Outrider. Personally, I would kind of like to clear the Necromancer's Pass without traveling to it. And that will be all, and I still have a resource to save for Hasty Stroke. So, all things considered, I'm feeling rather good about where we are. So, Lanwin, Thalen, Beaufort, the Outrider puts progress on Necromancer's Pass, but does not clear it, so it gets +1 willpower till the end of the phase. The Refugee, and that should be all. This deck is not going to send anybody on the quest. 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 against 3 in the staging area, and the option of reducing by 2. Yep, I think we're fine. We may even clear the first quest stage now. So, flip 1 is the Wolf Rider. Surges. Lanwin will choose to ready, just in case. Flip 2, Gladden Fields, and flip 3, the Banks of the Anduin. So 3, 6, 7, 8. So, okay, no, we're not going to clear the quest stage. We're going to make 3 progress. Ooh, actually, if Legolas kills the Wolf Rider... Oh, and it took a damage from Thalen. I could kill it with Argalad right now and not have to engage it. But if I engage it, Legolas can kill it and put the last 2 progress on the quest. That will require me not to travel. Maybe there are worse possibilities, I think. So, should have taken the +2 willpower boost to Lanwin instead. So let's have Eowyn block the Wolf Rider. Choose 1 exhausted ally I control to my hand. Well, since the Sylvan Refugee will leave play, will be discarded if a character leaves play, let's have it be the Sylvan Refugee. And then Legolas will kill the Wolf Rider with ease, placing the last 2 progress on the quest, which immediately advances. Anduin Passage. After defeating the troll, you are able to board the raft and embark on a river voyage. As you depart, your enemies pursue, harassing the small vessel as you attempt to navigate the river. Hennemarth Riversong will scry the top card of the encounter deck. We are going to be looking at Dulguldur Orcs. Well, that will be wonderful, won't it? I'm sure we'll be able to find somewhere to place that damage that won't be too annoying. So let's move on to the next turn. There we are. Ether Swordsman and the Long Defeat. Oh, and let's advance to stage 2B also. As your enemies harass the raft, it is difficult to maintain balance and effectively fight them off. So we're going to be revealing 3 cards from the encounter deck each quest phase, and we don't make engagement checks. Those will be important things to remember. Lanwin gains an extra resource from the Necklace of Girion. And over here, let's pay 2 for a Galadrim healer targeting this deck. Deck 1. So we'll remove damage from each hero. And that'll be it. Oh, I got that slightly backwards. Whoops. Let's spend 3 resources to put the Ether Swordsman and our Sylvan Refugee back into play. And you know what? Let's spend the last resource on the Ancient Malum, so that when we clear this with a Ravanian Outrider, we'll be fine. We'll draw some extra cards. Yes. So there's 7 threat in the staging area, but really after we clear that, there'll only be 4. So, let's quest. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't get the willpower boost on that one because we clear the Necromancer's Pass, but let's draw 3 cards. And we're sending 12 against 4. You know what? 13, 14. Well, 13, 14, 15, sorry. 15 willpower against 4 threat in the staging area with 3 cards, but Eleanor can cancel treacheries. Okay, the Dol Guldur Orcs. Yep, and we'll just put that on Bofer. Probably. Well, or the end. Let's put it on the end, I think, actually. I wish we had a Sylvan Tracker out to take that damage, but life goes on. The second card is a Necromancer's Reach, and Eleanor says no, I think. I mean, we'd lose the end. And the Refugee, and the Ether Swordsman, and the Healer. You know, I really just think that that deserves canceling. And there's the second copy of Despair, and it is essentially a dead card because there's no progress. And even if it weren't, 4 progress is not too much of an obstacle. And the third card of staging, of course, well, let's do that. So, recalculating our threat, or our willpower, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Against 6. Whoa, the Dol Guldur Orcs took a damage from Thalen, and Argalad will reduce that by 2. So we're down to 8 against 4. So we put 4 progress onto the quest. We'll travel to the banks of the Anduin. Optionally engage the Dol Guldur Orcs over here. But now that that extra copy of Despair is gone, we don't have to worry about pretty much any shadow effect in the game. So Rossiel's defending for 3. Oh, well, I don't control an exhausted ally. So, raise my threat by 3. And Legolas will place 2 progress onto the quest. And Hennemarth will scry the top card of the encounter deck. Another Dol Guldur Orcs. That actually could be a problem. It'll kill almost anybody we got. Well, let's... Oh, no. Let's not do that, actually. Yeah, let's not do that. Leave the magic ring alone. Alright. So deck 2 is the first player. Let's play healer and do a little bit more healing. And not that it'll make much of a difference, but let's give Legolas above the Galadrim. And over here, let's get an Honor Guard so we can cancel some damage if we need to, and play a Dagger of Westerness onto Lanwin, and an Unexpected Courage on her as well. So, up against 3 threat in the staging area, and all of our willpower's dead. This is going to be fun. So, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, putting progress on Gladden Fields, so make that 9, 10. 10 willpower committed to the quest. And how many copies of the Necromancer's Reach have come out? 1, 2, 3, and 2 copies of the Evil Storm, and both copies are pursued by Shadow. So if the last copy of Evil Storm comes out, Eleanor will cancel it. And other than that, there's no treacheries in this deck that can really threaten us until we reshuffle, but we're 21 cards away from that. We are fine for the moment. So let's actually send Rossiel? Yeah, let's send Rossiel. So 12 willpower against 3 threat in the staging area. Flip 1, the Dol Guldur Orcs are going to put their damage on Thalen. Flip 2 is the Evil Storm, which Eleanor will cancel and replace with the Misty Mountain Goblins. And flip 3 is Wargs, each of which takes a damage from Thalen. Now we're at 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Argalad will reduce the threat of the Wargs by 2 and deal them a damage. So it's now 12 versus 8 in the staging area. And we make another 4 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4. Returning Banks of the Anduin to the top of the encounter deck. We will ready with the magic ring. Excuse me. How many copies of the Dol Guldur Orcs have come out? 1. There's another in the staging, so there's at least 1 more. I think there's only 2 Wargs in the deck, though. So let's optionally engage the Dol Guldur Orcs here, leaving the rest in the staging area and traveling to the Gladden Fields. With the progress on them, Legolas will be able to clear it. So, with the Dol Guldur Orcs, let's okay, yep, we'll block it with Eleanor. No need to cancel damage with the Honor Guard, so Lanwin and Legolas together will combine for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 attack, which is far more than we need to kill the Orcs. Legolas will trigger his response to place 2 progress on the quest, well, the active location, clearing it, and Lanwin will exhaust the Dagger of Westerness and play Foehammer to draw 3 more cards. And here we are. Let's ready everybody. And draw a card. Lanwin gets an extra resource for the Necklace of Girion, and we have another copy of Ride Them Down, which could be useful if another Hill Troll shows up. Let's pay 1 for a copy of The Long Defeat, and oddly enough, we might end up using that for its card draw, rather than anything else. Or not card draw, the healing, rather than card draw. I expected to use it as card draw, but that's not what happened. Let's spend 2 to get out a Westroad Traveler. You know what? I think we're fine. I think that's all we'll need. We only need 9 more progress. Argalad will immediately exhaust to kill those wargs. So now let's quest 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Verse 2. Oh, and at the end of the round I was going to use Henemarth to look at what the top card of the encounter deck was. Eastern Crows. That will be fine. Henemarth is somebody you generally save for after combat so that you could use him to peek up what the shadow card is if you're really worried. And otherwise you wait till after combat so you can see what the next card coming up is without being exhausted and needing to worry about Necromancer's Reach. So, anyways, like I was saying, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 2 in the staging area. Card 1 is Eastern Crows, which is immediately killed and shuffled back in because of the direct damage from Thalen. Unfortunately, Surge does not trigger Lanwin's response. Would be nice. The Misty Mountain Goblins takes the damage, and the third card is Enchanted Stream. So there's now 6 threat and staging. We make 5 progress on the quest. Travel to the Enchanted Stream. Each deck will engage an enemy, and Eleanor will block that one first. Rossiel will block this one. It gets 4 attack against her 3 defense, so we will discard a copy of Out of the Wild. There. Henemarth will exhaust to see what's coming up next turn. Massing at Night. That's fine. Lanwin will attack for 4, which is enough to kill this one, and Legolas will attack for enough to kill that goblin and place 2 more progress on the active location, clearing it. Now, with an empty staging area, we should be more than able to clear the quest this next round. So, we'll draw a Defender of Ramas, and a Galadon Archer. Oh, and I had meant to play a copy of Non-Return on one of those Misty Mountain Goblins. I had the resource for it, and it's late in the game, of course, but Rossiel could use an extra defense boost against orcs if there are any left to come out of the deck. It might have been a useless gesture. We'll see. Now, having done that, though, we can pay 1 for Keena's Lances to draw 3 cards. And spend 2 for another Ent, even though it's unlikely to be any good to us. And just in case, let's bring out a Galadon Archer, even without anything to ping. It will probably be useful to have. And our remaining 2 cards we can use on Rossiel. And if by some chance a second Hill Troll comes out, because I do not think we have seen it. No, we have not. Rossiel will have 5 defense against it, and we can boost that with Out of the Wild. Over here in this deck, let's get out a second Honor Guard. I really think we need that damage cancellation. Let's raise. Let's give Lanwin an extra resource. And even though there's no location to clear, let's get out a Woodland Courier. Just for another point of willpower. And we still have enough to play Ride Them Down if there's an enemy we really don't want to kill. Or really don't want to engage and defend against. So, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... 12 against an empty staging area. You know, I think I'd rather have that attack available. So 11 against an empty staging area, and we need to make 4 progress. Flip 1, the Massing at Night. You know, I'm fine with this. It'll reveal 2 cards. So, Necromancer's Pass, and the other copy of Dol Guldur Orcs. We will put that damage. Oh, the Ent's not committed to the quest. So we'll put that damage on Anduin. And then, second card of the quest of staging, and the third card of staging. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Really? Oh, that's annoying. You know what? I'm going to exhaust those honor guards to cancel that damage we just dealt to Anduin. We were about to clear the quest stage. That's not annoying at all. Oh, wait. It takes the damage from Thalen. Argalad will exhaust to reduce its threat to 0 and deal a point of damage. And so we do, in fact, put 4 progress on the quest. Having cleared it, we can heal up to 5 damage on characters we control. That is characters, right? Not heroes. Characters you control. So, ambush on the shore. The ongoing harassment from your enemies has forced your raft to the shore, and you must now confront their ambush head-on. If you survive this attack, the path to the Golden Wood should be open before you. When revealed, reveal 2 encounter cards per player, add them to the staging area, and we will skip staging for the rest of the game. So, flip 1, the Hill Troll, flip 2, Beast Bite, Dol Guldur Beastmaster, and the other copy of Beast Bite. So, here we are with 1, 2, 3 enemies left, a whole lot of locations in staging, and forced to travel to the East Bite. Well, all things considered, that could have been a lot worse. So, this deck is first player. Both decks are above 35 threat, so everything will be engaging. If I let things fall out naturally, we'll get the Beastmaster here, the Troll here, and the Dol Guldur Orcs here. You know what? I'd rather have 2 enemies on this side. So, optionally engage the Beastmaster, and then the Troll will naturally engage here. The Dol Guldur Orcs will naturally engage like so. And good, I was just checking to make sure I'd added that extra copy of Gladdenfields to the victory display. And I think that, yes, there were 4 cards when I played that Keenan's Lances, which should have gone to the victory display, not to my discard pile. There we go, now that we fixed all the errors. Let's deal shadow cards. Nope, the first one goes over there. And this one will get 1 more shadow card. And an awful lot of them are probably going to be crows that are boosting attack. But that's fine. Rossiel has a +2 defense bonus against trolls because the first one is in the victory display. So let's have her defend against the troll, who gets +2 attack. So he's now attacking for 8 against her defense of 5, doing 3 damage. She has 7 hit points. I really don't care. Although I could discard 2 cards to raise her defense. That would raise it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and she'd only take 1 damage. Am I going to kill the Hill Troll this round? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 with Henmarth. Yes, I am going to kill the Hill Troll this round. So, yeah, it doesn't matter. We will, for the sake of my score, discard 2 cards and only take a single damage on Rossiel. Over here, Eleanor will block the Orcs, 2 attack, 4 defense, raise my threat by 1 to ready her, and she will block the Golden Beastmaster, who will take... Oh, no shadow effects. I thought there were more crows left in the deck. That's nice. So with that, we have resolved all the enemy attacks. We'll declare an attack here. Legolas with 3/4 with the bow of the Galadrim, but not 5 because the Hill Troll is still engaged with me. So 4, 5. Add another 4 for Lanwin because we are not below the engagement cost of the Hill Troll. So 4, 8, 9, 11 with the Galadon Archer, minus 3 defense is 8 damage. Enough to send the Hill Troll to the victory display. And while we're at it, the Ravonian Outrider will get rid of the Dol Orcs for us. We don't quite have enough actions to finish off the Beastmaster this round. So we will ready everyone. Moving on to the next round. Draw our cards. Another Protector of Lorien. Does absolutely nothing for us. And now we will look at their 3, 6, 7, 8 threat in the staging area. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. You know, I'd rather do it that way. 8. 2, 4, 8. Yep. And because we're skipping staging, we quest... Well, we break even, neither questing successfully or not. The encounter discard pile is shuffled into the encounter deck because it is the quest phase, and so that happens anytime the encounter deck is empty during the quest phase. And the Dol Guldur Beastmaster will take 2 shadow cards. I'll just deal them right now. And Rossiel will defend. She's now 5 defense against orcs, against its 5 attack. And four, 9, 11, 13 is enough to send the Dol Guldur Beastmaster to the discard pile, and we have won the game. I was rather pleased with the way that turned out. Oh, actually, no, I had exhausted the honor guards to block the damage from the Dol Guldur orcs, so I couldn't have used the honor guards to block the damage to Rossiel. Okay. So yeah, as I was saying, I was rather pleased about how that worked out. Trigger Legolas's response, I suppose. We could do it again. And we could have done it when we did the Hill Troll too. We had more than enough willpower to clear the East Bite if we really cared to do so, but I couldn't think of a legitimate reason. So, other than possibly traveling to the Gladden Fields and triggering the response on Legolas to add that to the victory display and get 3 more points, but I don't care about score that much. So, we'll calculate the score where we did it in 8 completed rounds with almost no damage on the heroes and no heroes dead. So we were at 145 points. That is, well, frankly, I have no idea how that compares to normal scores. I don't keep track of them enough, so, but regardless, I was pleased with the way these decks panned out. We were able to manage just about everything this quest had to offer. It helped that we had a pretty decent opening hand for deck 1. Having the willpower and ride them down made it a significantly less worrying enterprise to deal with that Hill Troll early on, and we did get lucky with those undefended attacks. If any of those shadow cards had been Dol Guldur orcs, we would have been looking at dead heroes. But, as I said, all things considered, we are rather happy with this. I think it'll be an exciting run to write up. Lots of potential for really cool action scenes. Eleanor got to be a star. defending against attacks left and right, and using her magic ring to do all sorts of things. This kind of messes with the narrative I had thought about in my head, where if the magic ring hadn't shown up in this run-through, I was going to have her find the magic ring in Dol Guldur, and that would have been an interesting narrative to explore, but this works as well. I think we saw just about everything in these decks as well. They essentially started running just about as they were intended to. The fact that the enemies didn't have a focused trait synergy meant that Rossiel was a little more vulnerable as a defender, since it would have taken multiple enemies in the victory display to get her powered up against everything she needed to be. But when the time came, she showed her quality against the Hill Troll, and that is what matters, I suppose. In fact, she's actually probably a very good hero for this quest just on that, for that reason alone. If you kill the first Hill Troll, the second Hill Troll she's defending, she gets her +2 defense boost by virtue of you having killed the first Hill Troll, which is something that you have to plan to do in this quest. The treacheries weren't a big bother. The evil storms all happened before I was in threat danger, except for the one I cancelled with Eleanor, but that was fine. The last run-through I did with this, there was an evil storm revealed as part of the card reveals on 3B, and I'd already used Eleanor to cancel, I think it was a Necromancer's Reach. So the Evil Storm came out and did damage to everybody, because I was above 40 threat in both decks. And I lost all of my willpower allies and all of the Galadon archers I had out. Everybody took a damage. Didn't lose any heroes. I did have Henemarth out, but I had an Honor Guard who exhausted to cancel the damage on Henemarth, just so I wouldn't have to end the game with Henemarth in the discard pile, and thus be unable to use Henemarth for the rest of this narrative campaign series. But as we saw, that didn't happen on this time, and we really didn't have any place where we were really worried. The long defeat and that healing of 5 damage was excellent. I actually expected to be using that card for card draw. It was another form of card draw that deck 2 could pass over to deck 1, but it turned out that I needed the healing more this time. Not something I'm going to complain about having access to. Anyways, I'm just rambling on now, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and come back for Escape from Dol Guldur next time.